What's up, guys? Welcome back to Milliken Fishing. Another exciting video for you guys today because we are doing an MTB unboxing, but we're not doing it like I usually do it, where I just open the baits, talk about them, let you know what they are. We're taking it out to this beautiful lake that's right behind the boat here, and we're gonna actually apply these baits to these local lakes that I fish all the time. So it's gonna be a good learning experience. Hopefully I can share some things that'll help you out once you get this MTB box. You know, MTB is a really good service, and because it gives you an opportunity to try a bunch of different baits you maybe have never tried before, or you just didn't have the confidence to put in your cart on your online order when you're at Bass Pro Shops or whatever. You know, people come to me and they say, you know, I'm not sure if MTB is for me. It's expensive. You gotta get the whole year subscription. Well, that's not true at all. You can get about any different price point of box you want for all different types of species of fish, and you can just go get one and try it out. So I'm gonna leave the link below. Click the link if you want to go try out MTB. At least click the link and see what they have to offer, because they have some really good baits, and hopefully this month's is no different. This is the July Pro unboxing. Let's get into it. Flip this guy open. Let's get the card out that has the baits. Oh, who's this guy? Got my face in mystery tackle box. Thank you so much. It says 3 YouTubers to watch, up and coming YouTubers. That's awesome that MTB did that for me. Thank you guys so much for putting that in there. I seriously appreciate that. All right, so here is the list of everything that's within the box. You get one in every single box. It has the MSRP and every single bait listed out. Let's start with bait number 1. I'm gonna take them out, let you know a little bit about the baits, MSRP and stuff, and then we're gonna go to the lake, like I said, and test all these out. All right, so bait number 1 from Duo Realis is the Cambio Spin. So let's get this guy ripped open here, and it is a spinnerbait. So we got a little white and chartreuse spinnerbait. This is a kind of a cool looking bait. It's a real small profile, so the nice compact finesse style spinnerbait. White and chartreuse, great in off-colored water, and I only throw spinnerbaits in off-colored water pretty much, so that's great. Also, the arm on this isn't your regular wire arm. I don't know if you can see that up close. It's just like a coated steel wire, which is gonna allow for a lot of flexibility. Probably gonna really vibrate well with those blades on there. So super cool bait there. MSRP is $12.99 on this, so high quality bait, hand-tied skirt. Pumped to try that one out. Next bait up is the Kahara skirted rat and rat. So we got a rat bait coming in hot for you guys. I've actually seen these and wanted to try them for a long time, but this is a rat bait, obviously brown with an orange belly. You know, there's rats and varmint, all different types of little animals and creatures that get eaten in all types of lakes around here. But the great thing about these baits is they mimic a lot of different types of forage. There's tons of bluegill in this lake, so I'm gonna go throw this around, probably catch some fish that are eating bluegill. So I'm gonna tie it onto the frog rod. Super pumped to use that. I've been looking at these for a long time. MSRP $10.99, so another good high quality. Feels real soft, should have good hookups. Pumped to try that one. Next bait up is the Booza Brush Bug from Stan Sloan. So we got a black and blue jig. Let's get this guy out of here. This is a, you know, it's a real good looking head. It's a nice flipping head on there. Black and blue is obviously a great color for muddy water. You see me throw it all the time, and I make my own jigs for the main reason is for the hook I can put on them. But this one actually has a really high quality hook. So we're gonna tie this guy on, go flip some stuff. Great option for flipping, and should definitely be a fish catcher for us. That is the Brush Bug. MSRP $4.29, so another good high quality bait there. Next bait up is the Dream Shot from Strike King Lures, so it's $5.99 MSRP. Great little drop shot bait, and if I had to pick a color to go throw today, it would probably be this one. It mimics all the different types of bluegill. We got brown, green pumpkin with a blue stripe in there, and it's a flat bottom. It's the OPT series, so it's hand poured, gonna give it a lot more lifelike action. Even has a little chartreuse tip on it, which is gonna be just like those bluegill tails. We're gonna tie this on a drop shot and go catch some fish on that today. Hopefully we can get some on it. Next one up is the Shimmer Shad from Ketchco. So we got another little drop shot bait. This is Ketchco, so it's MTB's brand that they own. Another cool looking little bait. I don't know how else you could really throw this than a drop shot. I know a lot of guys in California and Highland lakes with really clean water, schooling fish, like to put a little tiny EWG hook in this and just twitch it along the surface. We don't have a whole lot of that here, especially at the lake we're at today. So again, we'll tie this guy on a drop shot. Really lifelike bait though. It's got a nice like foil insert in there. Should definitely be a good bait on a drop shot. So I'm gonna tie one of those and kind of use it interchangeably with that drop shot. Maybe if we get in some cleaner water, I will tie that guy on instead of the Strike King. You know, like I said, we're gonna be throwing the drop shot today. And next one up, awesome, is the Trapper Tackle drop shot hook. I haven't tried any of these yet, but they're super cool. They actually just won an award at ICAST again, second year in a row. Really interesting hook design. It's supposed to hold fish on there better. Got a nice little size 2-aught drop shot hook. This is going to be perfect for both of those baits. And they also threw in MTB drop shot weights. We got 2 different types of drop shot weights and 2 different sizes of each type. Really, really cool. So I'm going to tie these baits on. Let's get out there on the lake. Hopefully stick some fish on these, but at least I'm going to show you guys how I would use these to approach your local lakes. All right, good looking little area right here. We're gonna pull out the old Kahara frog, throw him a frog. He's a mouse actually. We're gonna throw him around. We got a bunch of nice duckweed here, shallow duckweed. It's been raining a lot this week. Got water coming in from the creek down there, so a lot of these shallow fish should be moved right on up. And this is an awesome, awesome time to target them with this bait. I can tell from picking this bait up and feeling it, it's gonna be a little bit tougher to cast than it is. It's a little bit lighter than most frogs. But should be a really good bait. You know, that can make a big difference when it's sunny out. Maybe you got cleaner water. That more finesse style frog can get you a lot of bites. You know, another thing that's super important with an area like this, since those fish did just move up shallow, they can oftentimes get right on the bank. This is a little bit of rock on this bank and some undercut. Undercut banks with duckweed can be absolutely killer if you've had some rain in your area that week. Those fish will stay in there all day. Doesn't matter if the sun's out, they'll stay in there and feed on bluegill and whatever falls in. Frogs, you know, obviously. Mice, like this guy. This is just perfect cover for throwing a bait like this. You know, if it was cleaner water, that would almost be better. This is gonna be a good bait around a lot of like laydowns and stuff like that. Cleaner water, you'll probably get more bites on a natural looking, smaller presentation bait like this. But really, you can throw it in stuff like this too. It's not gonna hurt anything. Come eat my mouse. I don't think I've ever used a topwater mouse bait before, so this is kind of cool. Again, breaking out using a new bait because MTB put it in their box. So that's pretty cool. Ooh, there's a fish right there. Shut my mouth and catch this fish. See if he comes back. Landed it right on his head. It's cool they're eating this though. I don't know if they can see it very well. Some pretty thick duckweed and other grass mixed in there, so see if this little guy will come back and get it. This mouse bait has real exposed hooks, and so it's not coming through the duckweed great. So again, probably a better bait for open water fishing, which is good because it's a more natural bait. That's when it's going to really excel, is in cleaner open water. So I really think if you apply this bait to some clean open water, more sparse cover, you know, it's not getting through this mucky grass real well, but I'm seeing some other cover right over here that's going to lend itself pretty well to some other bits, so we're going to get those in the rotation here in a second. How did you miss that? All right, so we fished this little mouse bait. We've had 3 bites now from there to right there, so I'm not, obviously the thing does get bits. We're going to use that on the use side. I'm going to pick that up, throw it a little bit more later in the day. I'm going to pull out the drop shot now, and a lot of people think of a drop shot as like a deeper bait, but actually the drop shot can be sweet in a situation like this. Now, I don't have a very long leader on there. It's great for something like this where there's a lot of grass and slime and stuff on the bottom of the lake. So I'll just make some casts around some of these jetties, you know, and just kind of work the bait real slow. You don't need to do a whole lot with the drop shot. You just keep that rod tip up, keeps that bait up and out of that grass, and you can just drag it around. Now, there's a lot of brush piles around this jetty, which is obviously great cover. If I was going to fish these brush piles with the drop shot bait like this, I probably wouldn't use that exposed gap trapper tackle hook. But for more open water, more sparse vegetation, that's when you want to use a hook like this, more of a exposed hook with this little Strike King OPT open pour. And that guy looks pretty cool in the water. He sits almost perfectly horizontal in the water, which is, I mean, you're gonna catch a lot of fish on this guy. Just gonna be a flat out fish catcher. I know there's been some tournaments won on him already, smallmouth tournaments. Ooh, there's a bite already on it, probably a bluegill, but bluegill eating it really well apparently. And you will get a lot of bites from bluegill on this, but with a drop shot and exposed hook like this, It's gonna be an awesome bait to throw, you know, out deeper or something. After you have already worked over that area, you see me throw these big jigs, big Texas rigs out deep all the time. This is the bait. It's gonna be your follow-up bait. After you go through there, they stop biting, it gets really tough. Pick this guy up and you will get more bites. Oh, that was bass right there. Dang it. All right, I can't even stand it. We got all these brush piles right here looking so good for that Stand Slow and black and blue flipping jig. I gotta pick it up and throw it. I matched it up with a, looks like a black and blue Rage Craw. And you know, the cool thing is you got all this stuff out here. So obviously everyone's gonna come out here, flip this stuff. But something else that a lot of people don't think of when you're fishing a jig with a head style like this that comes through grass, it comes through wood really well, you can just pick it up and swim it a lot of times too. For whatever reason, those fish can't stand a swimming jig. And I think people think too much that swimming jigs are like finesse-y style baits that you throw in current or in clean water or something. And that's true, you can catch fish like that. But if you just change your presentation, and I'll do this all the time, you'll see me, I'll flip into an area a few times like this, and then the next time, the third or fourth cast through there, I'll swim it by that brush pile or lay down or stump or dock or whatever. And oftentimes that's all it takes to trigger a strike. So obviously, you know, black and blue jig's not rocket science. You can flip this thing with this head style. You can flip it, you can drag it, you can swim it. Really a versatile jig head style. I really like the looks of this jig. Hopefully we can catch a fish on it here. And you know, I think most of the fish are gonna be out deeper today. So we will see if we can make it happen. It definitely comes through the cover really well. These are pretty gnarly brush piles, so it's really good to see that it is coming through that well. All right, so now that we fished around this jetty, I'm gonna pick up the spinnerbait. We got wind blowing into it on this side and some cloudy, more algae bloomed water on this side. And that's perfect. That's when you wanna throw this spinnerbait. So anytime you got wind, this is a lighter one, so I better adjust my reel a little bit. Anytime you got wind blowing into a piece of cover, it's a great time to throw a spinnerbait. This isn't perfect conditions. There's no real defined weed line. That's really what I'd like to fish on this situation. And this is actually a really cool looking little spinnerbait. It doesn't weigh very much, but it's a lot more natural. Oh, there's a fish right there. Look at that. Not a huge one, but he absolutely crushed that little spinnerbait. So again, we got wind blowing in, breaks up the surface clarity a little bit, get this little guy back in the water. Perfect spot to throw this little spinnerbait. And this guy definitely doesn't pull as hard as your traditional bigger bladed spinnerbait, but in situations like this we got pretty good visibility here. Actually, a little bit of algae in the water, and that can be killer. Of course we got some grass on it now, but this is a really good looking little finesse spinnerbait. I kind of want to go pick some up in some more natural colors now, so I can try that when we get to some cleaner lakes. Really a good bait. And this is another bait, you know, if you go through an area with a square bill or something, fish a bunch of laydowns, brush piles, stuff like that, and you've already worked that area over, you flipped it, you pulled your square bill by it. This is an awesome bait, again, as a follow bait. A little finesse spinner bait can get you a couple extra bites when you run out of bites in an area. All right, I really want to catch one on this little rat, and this looks like a spot we can make it happen before we call it a video here. This bait just doesn't get down into the thick grass very well. It doesn't have a whole lot of weight. So, oh, that guy liked it though. See, and that's not a big one, but look how he got that thing. He thought that was real, no doubt about it. That's awesome. So again, we caught him way out here in this wide open water. That's gonna be the situation you want to throw this little frog. Hopefully we can catch some more on it, but it's not great. Doesn't make a big indentation and matted, thicker. This is duckweed, but it's got a lot of grass underneath it too. But once you get it out and work it in some of that cleaner water, this will be great in cleaner water, around grass edges, laydowns, even on dams and stuff. Fish don't see a lot of frog type baits that have real natural action on dams and riprap and stuff like that. Cleaner water, I would be throwing this for sure. Well, that's a wrap, guys. You know, I didn't catch a fish on every bait. I had a bite, actually, or caught fish on every bait except the swim jig or the flipping jig. Obviously, I could probably catch one on that if I threw it around for a longer period of time. You know, to me, it'd do a lot more for you guys to show you how I apply these baits in a real-life situation. You know, this is a public lake. If I went out in a private lake, you know, obviously I could go out in a private lake and catch a bunch of fish on all these baits, just casting them out and pulling them in. But that's not real life. You know, that's not real fishing. So I try to bring it to you as real as possible. Go ahead, go down and leave a comment. Let me know if you like this style of unboxing video where I actually go show you guys how I would use the baits instead of talk to it. You know, maybe you don't like it any better than me just sitting at home unboxing the baits, telling you about them. But leave a comment below. And like I said, hit the link below. I'm gonna leave a link to Mystery Tackle Box so you can go check out everything that they got going on. They got some really cool videos on their page. They got a bunch of different types of boxes, different prices, different species, different lengths of subscriptions. You can just get one box, like I said. Anyway, thank you guys, as always, so much for watching. I will catch you back in a couple days, if not tomorrow. But for now, I'm out of here. Peace.